Hello there, I'm Stephanie Rojo, an associate attorney at Stone Law Offices. I handle estate planning and estate administration cases. And today I'd like to discuss with you how to best be prepared for your initial consultation with an estate planning attorney. So here at Stone Law Offices, we love workbooks. Here's an example of one of our workbooks. We can send that workbook to you by mail. You can come pick it up from our office. We can email it to you. We've got a print version, a PDF, a fillable version. So any and all ways that you'd like this to be sent to you, we've got that option available. When you contact our office to schedule a consultation with an estate planning attorney, we are going to send you this workbook or provide the workbook to you and ask you to do your best to fill it out. Now, you don't have to fill out everything, but we'd like for you to at least think about the questions that are in this workbook and do your best to have a beginning game plan or strategy so that when you come in to sit down with an estate planning attorney, you already have some preliminary ideas of what you want, who you'd like to serve under your documents, how you'd like to distribute things upon your passing. So within this workbook, it's broken down in a couple of sections, or a few sections actually. The first is for you to provide detailed information about yourself and your spouse if you have one, your children, as well as beneficiaries that you'd like to include under the trust. There's also a page where you can provide contact information for any advisors that you may have, like a CPA or financial advisor, even a physician. If you don't have advisors, that's okay. You don't have to fill that out, but that's certainly an opportunity for you to put a question there or highlight it so that when we have our conversation, we can suggest some referrals for you. Then once you get through those first couple of sections, there are a number of pages that are dedicated to your finances, your assets, the things that you own in your name or your individual name or jointly with someone else or in the name of your existing estate plan under your trust. This information is helpful to us because we are trying to identify, one, is there some type of federal estate tax problem that we're going to need to do planning around? And two, we want to be able to have an educated conversation with you about those existing assets to let you know how best to title them in your estate plan to avoid probate down the road. Then there are a number of pages where you're able to identify or put down your thoughts for who you'd like to nominate as agents under your power of attorney, who you'd like to give permission to talk to doctors to find out what's going on with you if there was a medical emergency, the names of people you'd like to serve as your personal representatives or executor under your last will and testament, as well as the nominated people for serving as trustee under your trust. And then towards the back, there are a number of sections that identify, okay, how would you like your assets to be distributed upon your passing, and get you to think through the different structures for making distributions and coming up with some contingency planning. So what I would like to see is when you come into our office that you already have some initial thoughts for who you'd like to identify under each of the roles, as well as who you'd like to leave things to upon your passing. And then during the course of our conversation, we can make sure that that strategy is played out and built up, and we do some layered planning, some what if planning to make sure that we are building enough flexibility into your plan to grow with you and your family during the course of your lifetime. I want to also mention that there are a number of blank spaces for the sections where you can nominate personal representatives, trustees, agents, things like that, because we don't want you to just pick one person. Ideally, you have a list of 2 or 3 individuals that you'd like to serve, and and identify them as alternates, essentially. If something happens to the first person and they're unwilling or unable, who would be the next best choice? Who would be the third best choice? And we can absolutely have a conversation about whether or not that should be a family member, an advisor, a close friend, or even a private trust company. So that's something that we can certainly walk through and question with you on what the best plan or strategy is going to be for you and for your estate plan. So in order to best prepare for your estate planning consultation with an attorney, it is advisable that you take the time to sit down and work through this workbook. And if you have questions, identify those questions so that when you are face to face with the attorney, you're able to get all of your questions answered. Or if you have particular sticking points, we're able to circle around to those items and make sure that we get them addressed and we come up with a strategy that best suits you and your needs. Again, this is Stephanie Rojo from Stone Law Offices. I look forward to meeting you and working with you, whether it's to set up an initial estate plan, or if you'd like us to review your existing plan that maybe you set up years and years ago, or you set up with another attorney. You can go ahead and contact my office at 702-998-0444 to schedule a time for us to have a deeper conversation.